Hey everybody. We'll start with James from Sky Sports News. Thank you.
Hi, Oliver. Good to see you.
Hi.
Kevin De Bruyne has announced today that he'll be leaving Manchester City after more than a decade. What do you make of the impact that he's had in the Premier League?
He made a huge impact. Yeah, I don't know how many titles he won with Man City, and also the way he was playing. And his final passes. I think he's one of the most dominant players in the final third over the last decade here in the Premier League. So, yeah, but he's, I don't know, 34 or something like this. So the end of his football career comes closer and closer, and so yeah, it's a decision he had to take, and he obviously took. So yeah, wish him all the best for his future. But yeah, he was a very dominant player here in the Premier League for the last 11 years.
Back to Crystal Palace, in terms of team news for this weekend, Chris Richards, will he be back in contention to play?
No, unfortunately, it was very close. He trained with us today, or he was outside on the pitch, so it was really a very short session. But he's not on 100%, and then we spoke, and then so if it had been the last game of the season, so I think he would have played, he would have started, but we can't take the risk when we see our upcoming schedule, the amount of games, and he still feels a little bit of pain, very low level, but so then we took the decision not to take any risk.
You said after the game on Wednesday that the players were mentally tired after all they've been through over the course of the last few days. Are you confident that they'll be back on track and in a good place for tomorrow's game?
Yes, I think so. Yes, also sometimes maybe you need this experience. You don't want to have it, but you need it to learn from it, and so pretty sure that the players will be ready. A great game at home at Selhurst, derby against Brighton, and very good mood here at the training ground, and players are. We had a quite long meeting today, so because this was our tactical session. Yeah, because on the pitch we couldn't do really, or we just had recovery, and they were very, very focused, and have a lot of confidence in this group.
And there's been a few fixture rearrangements over the course of the last few days. You now know you'll play Arsenal on the 23rd of April ahead of that FA Cup semi-final on the Saturday. Are you concerned you won't have the preparation time you need ahead of what's going to be such a huge game for the club?
No, it's great. We played two teams who are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, so it feels like we are in the quarterfinal of the Champions League. Yeah, when we face these teams within 3 days, and we will give our best in both games. And we knew that this will be because when you see there was obviously no other date possible for the Arsenal game, because if they qualify for the semi-finals in the Champions League is straight after the Cup, and even the same with Aston Villa. So they have I think a tougher schedule in the next 3 weeks because they play the 2 Champions League games as well. So we have one postponed game against Newcastle. Overall, it's as I mentioned, it was a very busy January and February. Then it was a very relaxed March, and now we're looking forward to this busy April and May, because that means we are playing in 2 competitions. This is what we wanted. Easiest way would have been losing at Fulham, and then we don't have all these games. But this is what we didn't want. So it's just good to have these games in front of us.
It's been reported in Germany that RB Leipzig are interested in potentially making you their new head coach. What do you make of those reports, and how happy are you with life here at Crystal Palace?
I'm very happy, but I'm not happy with all the stories. So I told you I don't read all these stories, but my mom messaged me, and she says, I don't know. I have to read so much. I don't know where to start and where to end. I can't sleep anymore. And I said, come on, you're in your 70s, and it's not worth to read all this stuff. So nothing to tell from my side. Is the only guy I was talking was Steve Parish the last weeks, and no one else. So, but Again, I don't really recognize it because I don't read all the things.
Finally for me, yesterday, I'm not sure if you saw the game between Chelsea and Tottenham, but there was 12 minutes added on time. A lot of that because of the delays caused by VAR. Ange Postecoglou were clearly very frustrated. Do you think there potentially needs to be a time limit placed on individual reviews, so we're not having such a lengthy stoppage and ruining the flow of matches?
I didn't watch the game, but No, I think next round we get the semi-automatic offside line. I don't know if it was offside or what was the VR intervention, what was the reason for it. So I think this will reduce the time and then sometimes it's not so easy to find the right solution. So at the end we all want to have the right solution. I could see all the discussions about the foul in the Merseyside derby. I don't know how long it took, but at the end it was the wrong decision. And so what we want when the VR intervenes, that we get the right decision. So I think if both decisions were right, it's worse to take this time, because nobody wants that we say, okay, we have to stop after 4 minutes and then taking a wrong decision, because then you waste these 4 minutes. Whereas when it takes maybe 5 or 6 and you get the right decision, then it's worse to take these 5 or 6 minutes. And also, it's when this is every single, it happens every single time, I think then we should start the discussion. But when it's once or twice, okay, unfortunately it was twice in the same game, but very often it's really quickly decided. And so again, I'm a friend of justice, and that's why I'm a friend of VAR.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. Yeah.
Hi. I just wondered how, after the game midweek, is Matthias Franca?
He was, of course, but he's also, to be honest, he always had a good mood, even when he had not the best personal times. So, he felt well, was laughing and having a good mood. But everybody here, so again, we're in a great period of the season where we were all feeling well, so almost everybody is available and many positive circumstances, and I think the weather is like it hasn't been over the last decade here in London, so we are enjoying the time at the moment.
James asked you about the mental fatigue. I was just wondering, how do you address that after a game? Is it just as simple as a day off?
No, I think first thing is not always talking about it. It's again, and it is. We recognized it. We could see it. The players could feel it, and then it's gone. So it doesn't mean that you always. This takes 4, 5, 6 days. Yeah, it happened, and then you could see that we didn't show them today. That in many moments we played completely different than we wanted to play, in and out of possession. So, but this can happen, and when it's the same. Maybe a comparison, when you write 9 times, you have your best exam in school. I don't know, it's A. It's A here in England? Yeah. What's the worst one?
F.
F, yeah. And then you have one with an F. That doesn't mean that you you always get an F, and then it's okay, accept it. Was maybe not the best day, and then looking forward to the next challenges, and this is what we did.
Obviously, that's Brighton at the weekend, a team that plays similar style. You have a similar-ish philosophy to their manager. Are these the kind of games that, as a result, you're looking forward to more?
Absolutely. No, Brighton did really well. So also I think they are not really pleased with this week, with the losing on penalties against Nottingham, and now at home. I think the result doesn't mirror the game against Villa, because it was a very tight game. They had their situations, and then they conceded the first goal after an onset play in a transition, in 2025 they're one of the top teams in the Premier League, scoring many goals, very threatening in their attack, a lot of pace. The manager's doing a great job there, so we'll be really looking forward to a great game.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rachel, no, that's the end of the broadcast section. Thanks.